Can we just make sure that everyone understands how questions are being asked, because I still feel like there's not clarity.
So your chat is going to be basically like your parking lot. It's not for you guys to chat back and forth with one another. It's only for you to ask the hosts what you need clarification on.
Hello?
Yes.
I can't hear you, no.
Who's speaking?
Hello?
I don't know who's speaking.
That's Markel. It's
Robert Markel.
Markel, check your sound next to your microphone. Click on the little arrow, make sure your speakers for output are correct. Well, he can't hear me, so I don't know how he's gonna know that. Anyways, your chat is basically going to be your parking lot. It's going to be what we address at the end of our presentation. Anything that you have that you would like for the hosts to answer. Mr. Salem is really awesome about getting to the chat and trying to answer the questions the best of our ability. He'll be watching it as well and answering questions to the best of his ability right away if he can. If not, we will follow up with that at the end. And if we can't answer it at the end, we will follow up at a later time for you and put that information on our DFP webpage. Any questions? Does that clarify it, Brandy?
Nicole,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say something really quick. FYI, BT Dubs, your chat, when we record the session, we also see the private chats.
Yes, we do.
So you guys should know that the private chats are also recorded. So that's why we want to ensure that we're keeping everything professional, as well as keeping everything focused on the chat that everyone can see. The chat is recorded.
And the reason we ask you for your first and last name and your school site is for attendance purposes later on. You'll see that we are not asking you to do a sign out link at the moment. So that is why we are asking for your first and your last name.
Okay, I think we can get started. I think we got
really
that worked
quick,
out.
Alex, after everyone signs in, will you repost the link, because it's already disappeared on my chat and I think people just kind of lose it because there's so many people checking in.
No problem. I remember yesterday I just kept on repeating it over and over and over. I had it copy pasted.
You guys are awesome.
Gotcha.
Also, anyone who joins that's new, their chat does not show
Previous.
the link after it gets posted. So it's kind of like it has to repeatedly get posted. My apologies. I cannot speak. All right. Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be going over GoGuardian. If you have not heard of GoGuardian, GoGuardian is a program that we use in BCSD to monitor engagement. We can see usage reports of our students to determine what it is that they have been doing on the web while we are pulling small groups, for example. We can do real-time chat with our students. We can block their websites. We can do remote URL opening, and a lot more that we will get to if we get through this presentation. And if you guys are able to not get overwhelmed with what we're going to give you. Before we get started, we do want to make sure you have at least one student in your Google Classrooms. So if you don't, we want to go ahead and give you about how many minutes? About 3 minutes to go ahead and check and make sure you have at least one Google Classroom with one student in there. So if you can go ahead and do that for us, we would greatly appreciate it.
Morning. As everyone is adding their student to the Google Classroom, I'm just going to give you the formal introduction to start our session. My name is Debbie Shannon, and I'm the coordinator of state and federal programs. And I just want to welcome you all to the session this morning and thank you for the hard work and effort you have put into ensuring our students can continue to stay connected, learn, grow, and cope with the challenges being experienced by the world at large. Today, our intention is to provide support and help. If you have heard this before, this is a protected chance to listen along with presenters to solidify your learning, take away one new strategy, and maybe explore the tool even further during the release times during the presentation. If this is new to you, our goal is to provide support and guidance. If you find yourself becoming overwhelmed, no worries. Just pause, take a breath, and watch along. On the DFP website, you will find many videos that will help you. And if there are none there, you can even request a video from our wonderful technology teacher leadership team. We are here to help you. We are all in this together. With all of us working to support one another so we can best help our kids, we will make great things happen. And your presenters for today are Carrie Flores and Nicole Negron.
Thank you, Debbie. Does anybody else need some more time? I gave you guys about 4 minutes, but if you don't need the full 4 minutes, we'll keep on going. How are we looking, Salem?
Got a lot of dones.
Done? Okay. All right, so our norms, of course, we want to be patient, be positive, celebrate our learning, make sure that you are muted. We would like to not have to mute you. We would like you to have the liberty to mute yourself and unmute yourself at will. And then to use the chat. For extra support, you can get your extra support from virtual learning tips from the field, as well as from our go.bcsd.com/DFP website. We do have a full section just on GoGuardian, along with videos and lists on the side of what you would need to do. Our core priorities, we have priority 1, which is culture of collective efficacy, and priority 2, a culture of teaching and learning, which are the 2 that we are looking at today. We have our BCSD mission and vision, which we have seen over the last 2 days. And then why GoGuardian? So GoGuardian is something that we use to monitor our engagement. It allows us to see what our students are doing in real time and what they are doing when they are logged into BCSD Chromebooks. It helps us to get reports of what they're doing as far as browsing habits, popular sites, their searches. It allows us to be able to chat with them, to block any websites that are inappropriate, as well as to remotely control anything that we want as far as their tabs. We can block tabs, we can open tabs, we can do quite a few things with GoGuardian. So our learning intention today is that you're going to create a plan to monitor engagement and strengthen communication with your students beyond the Zoom classroom meeting. And your success criteria is you'll be successful when you can log in, add your classroom, sync your students, schedule. Now for junior high, that's going to be different because we can't schedule based off of our schedule, and then monitor and assist. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log into GoGuardian. Now, GoGuardian does not have a link the way that Clever links to Achieve or StudySync or anything like that. So you're going to go to your Omnibar and you're going to type in GoGuardian, so your search bar. Let me go back, sorry. So you're going to come up here to the top and you're going to type in GoGuardian.
All one word.
Yeah, you could do one word because that's what it is.
It's fine.
GoGuardian. And it'll be the first thing that pops up. It should be. And you're going to click on GoGuardian. And if you haven't signed in already, what you're going to do is you're just going to click on sign in. You're not going to click on get started. It's free. You're just going to click on sign in. And when you do that, this is the page that you want to bookmark. So I'm going to do that again. You've done Google, you put GoGuardian in. Even if you don't Google it, you can just put GoGuardian.com and you're going to click sign in. And then this is the bookmark. This is the page you want to bookmark. So you would bookmark it by clicking on the star. And you're going to log in with your Google account. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow.
It's telling me my account can't be found.
Logging in with Google?
Yes.
Okay, Penny.
Same with mine. Same with mine. This is Miss Gotico.
Are you guys new to the district at all?
Yes.
Okay, can someone make note of that so we can check for them?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not new with the district and I still can't access mine, and I've accessed it in the past.
Okay, can you put in the chat that yours is not accessible and then we can follow up with IT?
Sounds good.
Thank you. So my suggestion would be if just to watch, and then if you've made a copy of the presentation or if you have notes, you can write down what you would need to do, but you're just going to log in with Google. And when you log in with Google, you're going to get your good morning message, and you're going to have what you see here on the screen. You won't have this practice class. Let me get rid of this so that way you don't see it. So what you'll see is this. So you have to the left, you have classrooms, scenes, calendar, student reports, and help.
So let them try.
Okay? So go ahead and explore.
Get logged on.
It logged you off? If you have any classrooms on there from before, you're going to want to archive them. And the way to do that is if you have a classroom on here, you have a setting, a little gear at the bottom of your classroom that you would click to open it up. And at the very bottom in red, it would say archive class. And you want to do that. And the reason why is so that those students that were in your class from last year do not overlap with their new teachers this year when they're on GoGuardian. Because when they overlap, it becomes an issue with monitoring. And it will tell the students and the teachers that this student is in too many classrooms. Let me know, Carrie, when to move.
Just give them 1 minute, make sure they're all there.
All right.
Thank you.
I have a class that says all day and then it says AEE on it. Do I just, and it doesn't give me the, oh yeah, maybe I could archive it actually. So
You
just
should
archive that one too?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So for those of you that need to see it, I'm going to present it here. You should have classrooms, and then it will be on active. And you should see where it says archive. And you would confirm your archive when you click on archive.
So again, archive is really important, especially for junior high teachers because, well, actually for anybody, but previous year's teachers, if they're still active in their last year's teacher's class and you're trying to do something with the students currently, they will have the overlap problem. And if you're trying to do something with the student small group or have them on a certain website, and they're in someone else's class, that will interfere. So please make sure you archive.
For those of you that just entered, here's the link to the presentation. But we are currently working in Google or in GoGuardian. In Google, we're not working in Google.
Everything's Google.
Okay, so now that you have archived your old classes, the thing you're going to do is you're going to add a classroom. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this green button here. When you click on the green button, you're going to get a pop-up. You're going to put your classroom name. You're going to put your subject. And then you could put a description if you like. And you don't want to hit add classroom. If you hit add classroom, you have to manually input your students. What you want to do is you want to click on, can you guys see it or is my toolbar in the way?
No, you're good.
Okay, you want to click on, well, my toolbar is in the way for me. Let me go back. Add Google Classroom. When you do that, it's going to pull up all of the classrooms that you are either a teacher or co-teacher of, and you want to find your classroom that you want, and you're going to select it. Now, you want to be careful because once you select this and you sync it to your GoGuardian, that's the only time you can do it. You can't do it again once you do this. So I'm going to show you again. You're going to go to the green button that says Add Classroom and click on it. You're going to type in your period or your class name. And those of you, if you have a all-day class, like if you have AEE or you're restorative or you are, I don't know, are we 6-8? So if you're self-contained and you want to divide it up by, say, subject, you can do that as well. So maybe you do it by an English, you do it by math, or if you're just doing it all day, you would put it here. You'd pick your subject. You can pick the tile color if you want. So if you wanted it to be a different color, and then you would click on Add Google Classroom. And then scroll and find the Google Classroom that is associated with that class. And what that will do is it's going to automatically sync your students. And then when you do this, if you don't see students that should be there, click Sync Students from Google.
Show it again, Nicole, please.
I will.
Okay.
I have many classrooms to add. So you're going to click on Add Classroom. You're going to type in your classroom's name. You can choose the subject. You can type a description if you want. You can choose a classroom tile color of your choice. And then click on Add Google Classroom. And then you're going to scroll down. Maybe you don't have to, maybe they're all here. But you're going to find the Google Classroom that is associated with that classroom that you're making, and it populates your students for you. And now you'll see both your classes. So we'll give you a minute, well, 5 minutes to go ahead and set that up.
Mine says no classrooms available. And I have 2 Google Classrooms, so I'm not sure why.
Do you have students in your Google Classrooms?
Yes.
Were you one of the ones that was having trouble logging into GoGuardian at all?
No.
Nicole, I was having the same problem and I had students in mine and I just had to actually, I had never linked my classrooms to my GoGuardian, so I had to go out and it asked me what I wanted to use. I had to use my BCSD account, I think, to make them talk. And now mine's working fine.
Yeah, you should be logging into GoGuardian with Google.
I had the same issue, but all I had to do is there was an option that said resync to Google right there. And then once you did that, it worked fine.
Oh yeah, I clicked reconnect to Google and it didn't connect it. I signed in with Google and I also reconnected with it and it still didn't.
So when you click on add classroom and then you go to click add Google Classroom, it says no classrooms found.
It says error 403, rate limit exceeded.
I actually had that problem and then I just signed out and then signed back in and it allowed me to resync it.
Thank you, Cherie.
Okay, I'll try it again. Thank you.
And if it still does that, Maggie, go ahead and put in the chat so that way we can follow up with IT for you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I've placed a digital parking lot where I'm able to, in this doc, help everyone by kind of like trying to provide an answer, or if it's something that we can send to IT, I'll have your name and your issue. So if you do have an issue, please put it in there, and hopefully I'll be able to either address it in the chat or in the parking lot.
IT's gonna hate us.
csupport@bcsd.com.
Yes. I'll put it up here. Right here. csupport@bcsd.com.
And we will have to check into for subs because that was a question. So we'll have to check into that.
Are we ready, Carrie?
Take one more minute.
Okay. And then don't forget when you are in your, after you've added your students, you want to also click sync students from Google just in case some of your students did not move over automatically. And then if you get new students that are added to your classroom, you can click this button to sync those new students. Sarah, you had a question?
Yes, it was being buried in the chats, so I didn't want it to go too far. For those of us who could not sign in, whether we're new or for some reason we just couldn't sign into it, is there going to be a way to get this video presentation later? Are we just going to have kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
You can find all of this information later on our go.bcsd.com/DFP. I'll show you real quick. So when you go to our DFP, the EdTech Center, you would come down to EdTech tutorials, guides and tutorials.
I think it's under training, but it's okay.
Is it training?
Yeah, we just made that new link.
Oh, yeah. So you would go to training and it will be somewhere down in, because we're creating it, so it's not here yet, but it'll be somewhere past all this. Towards there.
There's quite a few. That's the thing.
This is all the virtual training from Summer Institute, but you can see we have the buttons up here. So there will be a button that will show GoGuardian training, but there is also, if you come onto your ed tech, like I was doing, right here, there's a GoGuardian button. If you click on that, Mr. Daines from Hort has made a bunch of GoGuardian videos, and they have the lists of what you need to do or what you should have done and how to do it. So they are also, you also have this here available for you. And so, and here's the address right here. Yes, Mary.
Now, when we are co-teaching, if the other teacher has imported that class into her GoGuardian, I won't be able to do the same class?
She can add you as a co-teacher, but we'll get to that. And
okay, well, I'm on as a co-teacher, but I'm trying to make it on a GoGuardian on my end, and it's not allowing. Okay.
Because you'll see them already being
right.
a co-teacher.
Okay.
So it's kind of redundant for you to try to add them again because you're already seeing them.
Okay.
All right, so then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to do your scheduling. So our success criteria, if we're looking at it, you should have been able to log in, except for those of you that have not been able to. We're going to check with IT and see what's going on. You should have been able to add your classroom and sync your students. And now we're going to go to classroom settings and your scheduling. So you're going to click on settings. So when you're in GoGuardian, you can see over here to your left. Well, first you're going to click on your classroom if you're not in it. So I'm going to do that again. From your home page, you're going to click on your classroom. Doesn't matter which one. So home page, classroom. And then you're going to click on settings down here on the left. So I'm going to do that one more time. Home page, click on your classroom, and then you're going to click on settings down here on the left. Once you do that, you're going to click on this tab in the middle called scheduling. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. What, Carrie?
You're doing great.
So you're going to click settings, and then you're going to click on this tab in the middle, scheduling. And you can see right now it says I have no scheduled sessions for this classroom. Now for junior high, if we were on a regular schedule, we could do this and it works perfectly. But because we're on that first, second, third, and then fourth, fifth, sixth, and then the following week we start with fourth, fifth, sixth, then first, second, third, it's really difficult for us to schedule in the virtual learning environment. We can schedule it, but we would have to manually turn it on every single day. So, but this is important to know so that when we do go back into the classrooms, we can do this. So what you're going to do is after clicking settings and selecting the middle tab for scheduling, you're going to click on the green button that says add schedule. So settings, middle tab with scheduling, green button that says add schedule. I'm going to give you about a minute or two to go ahead and get there. Let me know, Carrie, if when they're ready.
So since junior high isn't scheduling, when we're doing this with remote learning, do we turn it on every day?
You're going to have to manually turn it on, yes.
Okay.
That's the one not so great thing for us is that we'll have to turn it on. And the reason why is because if we schedule it, then the following week when they should be with us for first and we have fourth, it's going to overlap with their fourth period class when they should be with them instead of us.
And then you'll show us how to turn it on manually as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, the scheduling is nice because you don't have, that's one less thing you have to worry about. But as Nicole said, your Monday, Tuesday will be your first through third, and then Tuesday will be fourth, fifth, and sixth. But then Wednesday will be back to first, second, and third again. But then the following Monday will not be your first, second, and third. So that's
It'll
why
be
you can't
fourth,
schedule it. Exactly.
It'll be crazy.
It'll be great though.
All right, so then what you're going to do on your scheduled sessions is you're going to add a start time and then your end time. So if my first period block starts at 8:15, I'm gonna start the time at, I usually like to start it about 2 minutes earlier, so that way when the kids log in, it's already started. So I started at 8:13, and then I know that it ends, say, at 9:15. So I'm going to have it end at 9:15. And then I know that I have my kids. So if you're a self-contained class, you don't have this issue. If you're not a self-contained class, we can't do this part. Not until we go back to in-classroom instruction. So what you do then is you select the days that you have your students for this time period. So I know that I have these students on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for this time period in the morning all the time. I don't select Wednesday because Wednesday's bank day, so our time changes a little bit. This year we don't have bank days, but normally we do, so I'm pretending like we do. So go ahead and do that. You're going to select your start time, select your end time, and then select the days that you have them. And this is just practice because you can always go and remove it. So again, select you're going to settings, scheduling, and then you're going to select your start time and end time and select the days that you would have these students for this time period. And then once you do that, you're going to click Add Schedule. When you click Add Schedule, this is what you'll see. You can see my schedule for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And if you're like me, it's gonna bug you that Wednesday is not there. So you can go to the right-hand side over here, and I know that on Wednesdays, we start at 8:15, but we end a little bit earlier at 9:09. I have no idea, I'm just making it up. I'm gonna start it 2 minutes earlier than when we start because I like to have it going before they even get in. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to click Wednesday because that's the only day that this specific time period applies to this block. And I would click Add Schedule. And now you can see that Wednesday has been added to my schedule. The blue buttons next to each of the days show that this is automatically turned on. So this will automatically turn on my scheduling and my GoGuardian no matter what. I don't have to come in and turn it on manually. It will just do it itself. You can see the trash cans off to the right of the times. So say I messed up the time for Thursday, I could change the time if I want to. Or if I didn't want it anymore, I could just trash it. If I trash it, it just gets rid of it. So I don't want Friday. I don't want to monitor them on Friday because Friday is fun Fridays and go for it. Bye, have fun. I can delete it. Now it's gone. I'm not going to watch what they're doing because I'm a bad teacher, right? No, I'm just kidding. If you turn them off, you will have to manually come in and turn them on yourself, which means that you'll have to come into GoGuardian and manually start your sessions. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay. Do I have any questions?
I just want to see how you start manually.
Okay. So for junior high right now, let me show you what I just did because I did not just show you. So we're here, we're in scheduling, and we want to turn it on manually ourselves. So yeah, we have our schedule, but you know what? I want to check in with my students right now at this moment. You can go to sessions, and right here to the right, it says start a new session. You can choose when will the class be over. It'll be over in 2 hours, or you can choose a custom end time, and you can choose a specific time. If you have a scene, which we have not discussed yet, you could choose a scene. If you want to exclude students from the specific session, so say that you have students you know are not with you because they have been pulled out for testing, or they've been pulled out to for band or choir, or they're not here, you can exclude those students. And then you would click on start session. I know the time must be after now. And what that would do is that would automatically start your session for you. But this is how you manually do it. That's one way. So you would go from settings, you're at settings, you go to sessions, and then on the right-hand side where it says start a new session, you would choose your time, and then you would click on start session. The other way that you can do it is from your home page. If you just click on your classroom, it automatically opens you up at sessions, and you can just click start session. So your home page, click on your classroom, start session. Again, that's your home page, classroom, start session. And if I click start session, this is what I'm going to get. You'll see all my students, any of them online, any of them not online. And then I can end my session. There we go. So you should be able to log in right now. You should be able to add your classroom, or at least know how, for those of us that are not able to log in. You should be able to know how to sync your students and how to schedule. Next, we're going to talk about how to monitor and assist. So if we go in here and we start our session, and we are monitoring our session. So we're watching our students on their screens. So I'm helping some students, and on my, if I have my screen up and I have GoGuardian, I'm monitoring what my students are doing. I'm looking at their screens and I'm seeing, oh, okay, maybe Alexis is on Cool Math Games and she's supposed to be writing an essay. You can monitor them by making sure that you're on this tab called Screens.
I have a question.
Yes?
Don't we already have a visual of them when we're in Zoom? To me, this is just like a lot more work for us. I'm not saying that it's not important and it doesn't support us,
Well, that's up
but
to you.
I think it's very overwhelming, the stuff that we're already getting. And now we're adding this added to it. I understand it might make my life easier in the long run, but I think right now we're just like really overwhelmed.
Well,
Thank
you
you.
don't have to use it. It's just a suggestion by BCSD.
They will need to use it when they administer assessments. They will need to use GoGuardian. So it is a tool that does have to be utilized.
This is a suggestion by BCSD for you to use as a tool, but you can choose not to use it. However, you're monitoring them on Zoom, but you can't see their computer screen. So you have no idea what they're actually doing.
Also, when you're doing small group and you have some other students asynchronously working, you can still monitor as per se. You can look at the report and see what they were working on. So if the student is supposedly working, you know, for their whole school day, you're working with them synchronously part of the time, but then part of the time they're working independently and you're working with a small group. But the parent says they're in front of the computer, what are they working on? And you could look back at the report and see that they were on some other thing that they were not supposed to be on. So that's accountability and for engagement, exactly. So you can redirect.
Also, there's a thing for the kindergarten, first grade, TK. If you've got a child who, of course, you might have difficulty sometimes with having students go between items, you can place a student in a document or an assignment and direct students to go straight to things instead of having to use buttons. So all you TK, kindergarten, first grade teachers, second grade teachers, if your students will get lost in the digital realm, all you have to do is click Open Tab and open a student's tab to a specific assignment or task or video that you want them to watch, and it will open it up for them so that you don't have to worry about the time it takes for a student to go to something or have them call their parents over to help them do something that you need them to do.
Cindy, you had your hand raised.
They cleared it up because I was saying that you can observe the student working asynchronously because they're gonna have their cameras off when they're asynchronous, most likely.
Sarah?
To reiterate something, or I don't know who just said that, about being able to open students.
We can't hear you, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of go over one more time whatever he was saying about you can open students' tabs. My question was just, can you do that for all of them at the same time?
Yes.
Like for SPED,
yes.
I know that would come in handy. I didn't know that was a feature.
Yes, we're actually going to get into talking about that right after this.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah. So to monitor your screens, just like we had shown, you'll click on your screens tab once you're active. So once you have your session active, this is your screen that you're going to see. This is what you'll automatically be brought to in GoGuardian. And when your students are online, if they are logged in with their BCSD account, you will be able to see their computer screens and whatever it is that they are on. So if they're on Cool Math Games, you're going to see Cool Math Games. If they're on bcsd.com, and you'll see that. If they're on the student dashboard, you'll see the student dashboard. And then you also have something called Monitor Later. So in GoGuardian, you have this tab right next to screens called Timelines. After your session ends, the timeline gives you your session timeline and what your students were doing. It will give you an idea of what websites they were on the longest, which websites they were on that they were off task for, or even which documents or Google applications they were on. So screens is the automatic page that you get on. Timelines is the second tab where you can pull information as to what the students did during that class period by the minute. So you see 9:17, 9:18, 9:19. So these are helpful when your parents say, well, Adriana was on the computer for the 30 minutes that you asked them to be on, and she did everything you said, and you go on there and you look and you see, well, for 15 minutes, she was playing cool math games when she should have been writing her essay. And you can see that from here, you see the blue right here says Zoom, but on this student, they did Splash Learn Fun Math Practice Games. They did Google Meet. They did Achieve 3000. They had a new tab. And it tells you the time, 2 minutes from 12:48 to 12:50. They had 4 other tabs open at the same time. So this is why we are saying that GoGuardian is helpful, because you can see the students' computer screens and you can see what they're doing to monitor their learning and make sure that they're on task. Because Zoom, you can only see them, but you can't see that they are actually doing what you asked them to do. Good?
Yes.
I have 2 people raising their hand.
Okay.
It doesn't show me. Someone said go faster. I have 2 that say yes, and I have 2 people raising their hands. So who has questions?
Alex answered it, sorry.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think they're answering them in chat, so go ahead.
All right. So then the next thing is to assist with chat. You can turn on chat in GoGuardian. When you are in your GoGuardian screens view, you can see this button up here that says chat. It is defaulted to off. What you want to do is you go ahead and turn it on. And when you do that, you'll see that there is a little chat bubble down here. If it's off, it's gone. On, it's above the help button. Off, gone, on, there. So what you'll do is this chat allows you to chat with all of your students. You can see them right here. You also have this little megaphone up at the top near your name. When you click that, it allows you to send an announcement out to the whole class, and it will go across their screen. So if you want to say good morning class and send it out, you can. Or if you want to say, I need all of you to stay on task, get off of NitroType, you can send that out as well. So again, you have your chat here. You want to turn it on. You have your chat down here, the bubble that you're actually going to click. And then you have all of your students' names. Now you could chat with your student one-on-one by clicking their name. And what this will do is it's kind of like an instant message where you would instant message your students, or like a text. Or you can send an announcement out by clicking on the little megaphone and typing out your announcement. You even have some emojis, and then sending out your announcement, and it's going to send it out to everyone. You also have off-task alerts that you can turn on. And the off-task alerts highlight students if they're browsing a website that is not related to your class subject. So if your class subject is English, and then your students are browsing cool math games, it's going to highlight that student, and it's going to say, this student is on a website that they should not be on. So that way you can go in, you can tell them to get off that website or close that tab. So you can choose to turn that on or off at your discretion. Do I need to go over that again, or would you like me to move on?
I think you're good.
Okay. The next thing we want to show you, we did chat with all students. All right, so this one we have to show you on here because we don't have any students in our class that are online, but is to send a website. So when you have your students and you want to push out a website to them that you want them to visit, your students are here. You can click on screens if you're not there. So if you were on timelines, you want to go back to your screens tab, and you would click on the box that's next to select students. And you would click on the ones that say online. Now, right now we don't have any students online, so that won't work, but that's what you would do. You would click this box that says online. And when you do that, what you'll get is you'll get this box down here that comes up. And this box has open new tab, lock device, unlock device, or exclude from session. So if you exclude them from the session, that means it's going to not show the student's screen, or it's going to not monitor their screen. So it won't monitor for anything that's off task. It won't monitor or it won't allow you to lock or unlock their device. It's going to pretend as if that student's not in your class. If you lock their device, what that does is it's going to completely lock the device. Even if they log off and log back in, their device will stay locked. So they can't get on anything when you lock their device. You'll have to physically unlock it using the unlock button right there. But the one that we're interested in is the open new tab. When you click on the open new tab, what you do is you end up with this box down here at the bottom where you can enter your new tab URL that you want your students to go to. So if I wanted them to go to bcsd.com, then I would put in bcsd.com. If I wanted them to go to Newsela, I would put newsela.com. So I would click this open tab. So the first step would be to click the box next to where it would say select all students. You would click that box, select online, go to the bottom and click open new tab, and then you're going to get this pop-up box.
We're about out of time, Nicole, just letting you know.
All right, thank you. I think that's it. We're at our resources. And just to let you know, when that pop-up box comes up for opening a new tab and you put in your website and then push it out, what that does is it opens that website in a new tab for all of your students that you're pushing it out to. So on that example, we only had my 2 kids that we used on there, but we were able to push it out to both of them. So it does work. So whoever had asked about, I think it was Sarah, right? Maybe that asked about the SPED. You can do it. So if you wanted to push out a specific tab or a specific website to all 15 or 20 or 30 of your kids, you can just click that box and push it out to all of them. And that basically wraps up GoGuardian. There are more resources, more tools, and more tricks to GoGuardian. You can find them on go.bcsd.com/DFP. We also added them at the end of this presentation. And we just ask that you fill out the evaluation so that we can drive our changes in presentation for the next time that we do this. And if you have any questions, you can always email us and just let us know. And have a good day.
Thank you, Nicole.
Great job, Nicole. Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
Have a good day. Carrie, did you hit record on this one or only on the
I
first
did. Let me stop it.